First manufactured in early 1999, Nvidia's Riva TNT 2 went head-to-head with the Voodoo 2, Voodoo 3, the Matrox G400, the ATI Rage 128 and the S3 Savage 4. Personally, it's an important card in my own PC gaming journey, so in this video let's take a brief look at the life and times of this rockstar of the distant PC gaming past. Laden with a whopping 32MB of video RAM, speedy AGP 4x support, and benefiting from having its transistor process shrunk down to a 0.25 micron fabrication process, all of this put together resulted in the TNT2 being a blistering card upon its debut, Nvidia pushing it out and going toe to toe with the Voodoo 3, but with superior 32-bit color depth. The gamers at the turn of the millennium were kept guessing on who was going to come out on top in this polygon pushing slugfest. The chip was codenamed MV5 because it is the 5th graphics chip designed by Nvidia, succeeding the Riva TNT, which was the MV4. Riva itself is an acronym for Real-Time Interactive Video and Animation Accelerator, whilst the TNT refers to the chip's ability to work on 2 texels at once. There were 3 distinct grades of card performance during its production run, the entry level being the Vanta and M64 cards, the mid-range being the TNT2 or Riva Pro, and the tip-top high-end card was a TNT2 Ultra for maximum gaming pleasure. Those TNT2 M64 cards were popular in the OEM market, as most consumers simply assumed that all TNT2 cards were the same. But watch out if you're on eBay, as the memory interface was reduced from 128-bit to 64-bit to make the cheaper card to produce, and performance suffers as a result. But back then, most serious gamers were weighing up the TNT2 versus the Voodoo 3. 3DFX's Glide was still the graphics API of choice, and the Voodoo 3 was marketed under the premise of superior speed and game compatibility. Glide at this time was a favourite API of many game studios, and Glide-based games frequently operated with better performance than Direct3D and OpenGL. The card only displaying a max 16-bit color depth, and Nvidia seized upon this perceived weakness as part of their marketing strategy, pushing the fact that their card had 32-bit color depth and insinuating that the resulting picture quality was far higher out of the TNT2, a difference which in reality most consumers probably couldn't see. Similarly, Nvidia was proud to say that the TNT2 was more efficient due to it having 2 texturing pipelines instead of the Voodoo's single pipeline. Again though, unless games use this older rendering technique, you wouldn't see a marked improvement in the latest games released at the time. A few variants of the high-end models were released, but my personal connection was with the creative 3D Blaster TNT2 Ultra, which I bought from WH Smith with a whole month's part-time salary. This version came clocked at the standard 150MHz core and RAM at 183MHz. What set it apart though, and according to product information that I totally can't remember at all about this card, is that this creative included a unique software package that allowed the user to run software that used 3DFX's Glide. I have absolutely no memories of this, but maybe this is what made Unreal Tournament run spiffingly well on my Pentium 3 back then. The TNT2 family was effectively made obsolete not even 12 months later by the release of the GeForce 256 in October of the same year. For myself, I think it was really put to rest once the GeForce 2 family came out a further year later in September 2000. OEM machines probably kept putting in cheap versions of the TNT2 into cheaper offerings, but the vanguard of PC gamers had moved on. I loved my TNT2 until eventually upgrading to an Inno3D GeForce 2 card whilst at university. Now if you bought the TNT2 or if you got good memories of it, please put a comment down in the comment section. I'd love to read them and hear all about it. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one.